Okay, so welcome everybody to Infinity Podcast. And I'm thrilled to have lovely Carol Robinson, which is a self-love mentor. I've been working with Carol for a while, and she's amazing. I'm sure you're going to enjoy. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy. So, Carol, maybe we can start by you just presenting yourself in a few words, whatever you want to say to people.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, AF, for this amazing opportunity to share love and spread good word around the world. Yes, I am a self-love mentor and I work online and I have amazing clients and I run a group program called the Self-Love Affair. So, which is fantastic. And basically it teaches people how to respond to their challenges in self-loving ways. It teaches them how to go within beyond the materialistic and physical world and to know that they've got magic inside of them and they've just been a little bit distracted from tapping into that magic. And there's so many things in society nowadays which distract us from being our true nature and our true purpose. And it kind of steers us into this hectic maze of distorted view about life and what life is meant to be. And to learn a little bit more about energy, which I've learned through you, to learn more about just the physical body, how, the 11 systems of the physical body, so that you can value the body more. To learn,
I want to ask you something because I'm sure what you are kind of established come from some personal journey, not your life journey.
Yes. So
maybe you can say what led you to, I'm sure there was some self-discovery for you that you thought, wow, this can really help others as well. So
yeah, absolutely. Thanks, CAA. The work that I was just talking about is my life's work, and it's all come together from my life experiences and the studies that I've done recently as well. So it all comes together, and it's beautiful work. But I, like us all, I have had challenges in my life that I felt isolated, I felt rejected. I didn't know where my place was in the world. I'm also a mum of 2 awesome children who are young adults now. And I've run businesses as well. So the way that my journey started was I was a beauty therapist and I had a business running from home so that I could work around my children. So I could always be there for my children.
What is a beauty? What is a beauty therapy? I know there's beauty people that help people, become beautiful. But what is a beauty therapist?
So I was a makeup artist. So I would do makeup on women that were getting married or special occasions. I was also a waxing beautician. So I was pulling out people's unwanted hair, which is a bit of a funny occupation. I always knew that there was more to me than that. But definitely. But in that time of the 12 years of doing that, I call it my apprenticeship into understanding human behavior more. So like anyone in the beauty industry, a hairdresser, and being a woman, you go into that space and you're in that person's personal space. And so they feel that comfortable and safe to share things with you. And so I started talking, like a client would come in and say, oh, look, I had an argument with my children last night or my husband. And so then we would talk about it, but then I found ways to try to help them to get solutions to that. And during that time, I went through a divorce, which was not an enjoyable experience. So I was also sharing information about my experience with the women too. And so it kind of all came together that, women need to be, and men, of course, but to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. And I thought, gosh, I'd love to be a counselor one day or to help. So what I did is I had a salon, and in the daytime I would have the clients come in, waxing legs, doing makeup, teaching makeup, all of those things. And then of an evening, I would facilitate a women's circle. So
Wow.
I
That's
provided
amazing.
I provided a place where women felt comfortable to come to get their external beauty sorted, but then I would also offer the inner beauty.
Oh, I'm so happy. I didn't know you did it this way. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. So my salon was called Carol's Place, and it was inspiring inner and outer beauty.
Oh, wow.
And so I had those women's circles and they really grew. It was called Rise and Shine, and it was an amazing experience. I would get guest speakers in as well. During that time, I started to study. I did facilitator training. I just immersed myself in personal and spiritual development learning. Also, during that time, the world shut down in March 2020.
Mm,
So my business was closed down,
mm,
and it was closed down for a couple of months. And during that time, I thought, how can I innovate and pivot during this time to make the most of it? And I thought, I need to go online. And by going online, created freedom for me to be location free. It also took me out of the beauty industry. As I said before, there's more to me than pulling out unwanted hair. So I thought, no, I'm tapping into my magic here. And so I created a website, and then I started
mm.
having clients one-on-one, and then I would do the women's circles online, facilitate the circles online.
I want to ask you personally, for you, what was the pivot point? Maybe in your, if there was a pivot point, did you understand something very deep about your existence?
I always knew that there was something more, something deeper to life. When I was a newborn baby, I was adopted out as a baby. So I had these thoughts as a child of like, where do I belong? They could have been they're probably subconscious patterns, where do I belong? Why was I rejected? All of that. But it took me to deeper places. And then hearing the feedback from my clients, my beauty clients, saying, Carol, you really love this stuff. Like, you've got some magic talent there that I feel really nurtured around you. And and so that was it. Also going through the divorce, I remember one occasion which was extremely a sad day for me, a very sad day. And I remember being on the bed, that uncontrollable crying, that where you can't breathe. And I felt like the earth was just swallowing me up. And I knew in that time that I had to gain strength to I was a solo parent and all of that. But all of those little things that would happen, they were just like little whispers or a little twinkle, a sparkle going, there's more to life. There's more. There's a solution. There has to be a better way.
Wow.
A lot
Amazing.
of that time is, consumed with identity. What will I look like? What will people think of me? Especially going through divorce. It's a thing where you need to reframe it in your mind that you're not a failure because because this happened. It's just part of my journey. So that really, going through the divorce and being at the lowest of lows was really, I guess, the big turning point of like, oh, I want to learn more here. I want to learn more about this. And
You're fascinating. You're fascinating how you managed to transform this low point into power that pushes you up. It's very, very inspiring. And
yeah,
can you, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, there was one point that I was taught this thing about being a victor or a victim. And a victim is below the line. It's blame, denial, justification, and excuses. A lot of people can live their life in that space going around and around. To get above the line is the victor, and it's ownership, accountability, responsibility.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. And so someone said to me once, because see, I had placed myself in that experience as the victim, but it wasn't good for me to be in that as the victim. I had to take ownership of my reality that I actually placed myself there. Very empowering, very empowering. That was a big turning point for me too. Yeah.
So how is it working with your clients? You know, do you feel that you manage to direct them into that power, you know, to transform exactly that?
The clients that come to me that have either gone through divorce or have been a solo parent or have been adopted, you know, those things, obviously they're relatable, so they feel more comfortable because I can relate to that. And I enjoy what I do because it provides people with solutions that they don't have to live in suffering. We're here on this earth to live in a joyful state. That's what we're here for. We're not here to suffer. And so many things just push us and bump us down that suffering path, and especially with ego. And so to create more awareness around that by working with people, just one by one,
So
by one.
how do you guide people, you know, because we all suffer in life here and there, you know, more or less. So how do you guide people to move through life although there is suffering? What is the golden way?
The biggest thing, the three biggest things I go through to start off with is when they're in a state, an agitated state or a state of confusion, is to go to the breath. Take themselves within themselves and feel the breath. Go to gratitude. What are they grateful for? Just to change the mindset. And then ask themselves the question, what would love do right now? Love for self and love for others, but love for self first. It's learning to be selfish in a non-selfish way.
Got you, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, because you went through the training in our academy, Infinite Being Academy, and you kind of incorporate energy, maybe spirituality, you know, some other aspect for your practice, I believe, and for your personality. I wanted to ask you about that, you know, how energy awareness affected your personal life and your professional life.
So energy awareness for my personal life, it's been massive. Just stopping, meditating on a very regular basis, dancing in the kitchen. Love it. Just feeling the energy in my body and just letting it flow. When I'm agitated, same thing, like I can feel the heaviness and then like flicking it out, just getting rid of it, shaking the body like you taught us to do. Yeah. Giving a good shake, including the jaw.
Exactly.
Yeah, just knowing that, you know, we are not our body. We're attached to our body, but we're not our body, but our body takes a lot. And it's sitting in there. It's sitting in there. So the ways that, I facilitate myself through a lot of things now, whereas, gosh, 10 or 15 years ago, I would have been complaining to my girlfriends about someone, and repeating myself. But now I'm like, okay, straight away, if I feel something that's not in alignment, I get curious about it. If something happens on my path that isn't planned, I get curious about it. Well, I wonder why this has happened. That's amazing. I wonder what this is telling me. Where do I feel this in my body? How does it make me feel? Yeah. So to learn about energy for myself has been amazing. And then because I have those skills to be able to be responsible for my energy that I bring to a space, it ripples through to my clients. So being responsible for my energy, I mean, like when I turn up to go onto a group Zoom or to facilitate my course or to have a one-on-one with a client, I just sit back and go, yeah, how am I feeling? And am I being of my higher self for this person right now?
Wow, this is so beautiful.
So thank you. And then, of course, the things that I've learned, I share them with my clients. Some clients at the start who have never been introduced to personal or spiritual development world, it can be a little bit crazy. Like, whoa, I don't understand that, Carol. So each client is different, but the main thread that connects them all is that I always say, how are you feeling? Where are you feeling it in your body? Or just go to love. Love always wins. Love always wins. So no matter what the challenge is, like every challenge has a solution, but no matter what the challenge is, go to love. What would love do right now? Love for self, love for others.
So before, I want to talk more about love, but before that, um, when we teach how to read energy, we teach different, techniques also to see how the energy flows in the body, how the energy flows between people, how the chakras are doing, the aura is doing, all that stuff. Do you feel that that's relevant for your practice? How do you interact?
Absolutely.
How do you perceive? Because one thing is to hear what somebody's saying, and the other thing is to look at the energy and not to just what they are saying. So this kind of moving from psychotherapy or psychological interaction to energy interaction. So yeah, I want to ask you about in more details.
So for me to be working with a client, from what you taught me, I can connect to them, especially if I know that they're having a bit of a tough time. So I just close my eyes down and I connect and I feel in my body what they're feeling. It's really powerful. And when I'm working with clients, the biggest actual breakthrough that I've had with a group regards to energy healing is I took them through a meditation and we shared love amongst each other. And I said, I took them to the place where they feel love in their heart. And then, now we're going to send Sally, just for example, in the group. Let's send Sally love. Sally, I wish for you to receive this love from us all. And we did this. There was 5 women in the group. We finished the meditation and we came out of it. And one of the ladies, she was just so blown away. She said she had a grin from ear to ear, so happy. She said, I have never felt that before. I have never felt that surge. She described it as this big warm rush through her body when she was receiving the love from everybody.
Mm.
Because I was also facilitating it, I actually had my eyes open at certain stages and I was watching reactions. And you could see her energy. She just had this smile and her eyes were closed, and she was just in the bliss.
Yeah.
In the nothing, in the no thing, the no land, but it's the bliss. And when she reported after to say, the feedback was, she said, I've never received that before. And she said, that was incredible. I was like, oh my gosh. And that is witnessing and working with you and learning those techniques and things of how we can help other people with energy. That's where I got that from. And the love reward for me in that, to see her shift, was just incredible. That's just one example.
I'm so happy. I want to ask you more about love, because for me, it's very clear that love is the center of life. Love is life for me, from my understanding. Yeah. But not everybody, love is a word, first of all. It's a word that many people have different meaning, different understanding, maybe different sensation, different feeling. So when you say that you are a love mentor, what is it? Because people can perceive love in many different ways. And I believe that you and I, when we say love, we're talking about a very specific state of being. Yeah. But how do you gap this, language, let's say, gap, and maybe even cultural gaps that relates to love?
What I use a lot in my marketing, if you want to talk about language of it to get the message across, is basically living with less stress. Mm-hmm. Less stress to allow room to invite more joy into your life. It's a great question, because from a business perspective, you have to be a wordsmith with your words about how you're going to market this, because, you're right, self-love is a different meaning to a lot of other people, especially my generation. When I went to school, I'm in my early 50s. When I went to school, people would say, about someone, she's so up herself, or he just loves himself, and it had a really negative thing against it. Whereas actually it's probably a good thing without being too egotistical. So to then reframe that in certain ways to attract clientele is it can be tricky. So I'm a self-love mentor. My signature program that I offer is called the Self-Love Affair. But it always comes with taglines after it, so that so it makes it relatable to the person of how that applies to their life. Like learn the basics of meditation so you can lower stress and nurture your overall well-being. Mm-hmm. It's about working out, like with the content that I write, it's different for each one. So did that answer your question?
I'll share my experience, and maybe we can expand on that, because my experience is that when I introduced in therapy the word love. So what I find that people have different meaning to it. Mm-hmm. Like some related to sexuality and sexual intimacy.
Okay? Yeah.
Other related to being responsible for somebody else. Other related to being completely and utterly nurturing somebody else, or being nurtured by somebody else. I would say that not everybody actually relating to the feeling that when we say I'm in love, so I feel that my heart is open to somebody else. And for me, that sensation is the magic. because that sensation is beyond word. I can say what I want, but if I don't feel that feeling of love, I cannot really feel connected and being connected to. I cannot, and I don't really feel alive and part of life. So that's and I believe that experience that happened to that woman in the group, that's because she felt exactly that, and she felt that because the other participants in the group were actually connecting from their heart center. I mean,
Yes.
some people even say, I love, and they put their hand on the chest, on the physical location. We don't feel love in the physical heart location. We feel it in the center of the chest. So there is a lot of confusion in society around love, There is no confusion that in the subconscious, everybody must have love. And that's why this world is upside down, because everybody's searching for love. Yeah, really. But searching in a way that is not constructive and actually mainly destructive. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to ask you more. How do you bring people from all these things around love that maybe they've been, because previous generation especially, I mean, to say I love you was like, we're going to marry for sure. It's like, you don't say I love you, but I say a lot of I love you. I love you, Carl, because I feel my heart is open to you, so I love you. It's very clear. It's not, it doesn't mean we have to have an intimate relationship. It doesn't mean anything.
No.
It just means that I'm expressing a sensation, an emotion, a connection that I feel towards another person, or a tree, or a sunset, or a butterfly. It doesn't matter. So that's why I'm asking you about this area of love. How do you managing it?
Another thing that I trust in is that the love that I feel within myself and the love that I have for others, and doing my best to remain in alignment with all of that will attract the right people to me.
Yeah.
So when I write content, I always finish my content with, I hope this helps someone today. Big love. I remember when I first started writing big love, kiss, kiss at the end of my social media content, I was like, ooh, put myself out there. Hope this is received. Been doing it for so long now. It's me. It's come on, people, like, receive. I hope you receive my love today. So my vision when I first started being a self-love mentor was to inspire one person a day to experience the joy and pleasure of self-love, of putting themselves, first, in a not an egotistical way, in a beautiful way. And that means that by the end of the year, it's 365 people that I have inspired to experience self-love, which ripples through the world.
Beautiful.
So some days I inspire more than one person. It doesn't mean that I then have the next few days off. It's every day. What can I do today to inspire someone to experience love? So even if I'm unwell, just say I've recently been floored with a flu. I didn't feel into writing social media posts. I sent beautiful messages to my children, so proud of you, and, things from my heart. And I would always work with my relationships with my friends. I don't need to work on it, actually, because we're a beautiful circle of friends, because it's always, I love you. I love you. Take care. I love you. Have a great day. I love you.
So how do you make this word of I love you deep? And also, how do you, because we have different voices in our mind, sometimes we are very negative to ourselves and to others. How do you guide people to change the inner language into something that is loving?
I think it's not making it about wanting to be needed in that space, like by saying to someone, I love you. It's not about you wanting to belong to that. It's authentic, like, please receive.
Mm, mm.
Please,
Yeah,
please share. Yeah.
beautiful.
That's all. I mean, they're great questions, and it does make me curious more about it with you asking me. But I'm a firm true believer that I just keep on my path, keep learning, keep growing, keep loving. The right people will be attracted. Like having inner observation all the time. The more inner observation that I have, the more freedom that I have in my life. And being the role model, business-wise, people are always watching, always
Mm-hmm.
watching.
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing now? But being that role model of just the consistency in that, the right people will always come forward, or it will help people. I mean, I had a client come on board with me about a month ago, and she didn't really engage with me much through social media, but she just messaged me or she rang me and she said, I've been watching you for ages and I read everything that you write and
Wow.
I want to
Oops.
work with you.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
so it's not putting that stuff out there so that I'm like, come on, because then you're going to be bringing the low vibration energy to it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
where are my clients? I need to, it's force. You're forcing it. It's always
Beautiful.
doing it from the right place and trusting and believing and like surrendering, just allowing it to be.
Amazing. That takes a lot of courage. And you have it, Carol. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. I remember when you broke your arm, but you keep on
Yeah.
going. Powerful. I love it. Um, Before we ending, I want to ask, what are your kind of dreams for the future and plans and inner, professional, personal?
My dreams for the future, professionally, are to work. I mostly work with women. That's my target market. But of course, I would always work with a man. If he said, "Can I work with you?" Of course, I would. But to work with really high caliber, very dynamic women, especially in the corporate world, ones that just know that there's more magic, like they just need to be taken to the next level. So to work with them, obviously, income wise, it's a better thing instead of trying to, we're talking business now, but to be convincing someone who can't afford it, but their patterning just doesn't allow them to invest in themselves. I want to work with dynamic people that want to invest in themselves. And the more, I call them units of choice, money, but the more units of choice that the energy exchanges that I engage with all of that, the more I will be able to help the ones that can't afford my service,
Mm-hmm.
as in more scholarships, more, free content, just more of that. So it kind of balances it out. That's where I'm at the moment. I mean, you see that with a lot of people that are high income earners. For example, you're talking about personal development world, like Tony Robbins or just high, profile people. They have charities. And because their earnings are so much, they can have those charities and be able to give to those charities to the people that really need it. So you're bringing people up on all different levels. That's the plan. Yeah. That's the
Beautiful. I'm sure you're going to achieve it because you are wonderful, and I feel so grateful, to know you and to work with you and to share time. I always enjoy being with you, Carol. You're amazing, and
Thank you.
I think your clients are very lucky.
Thank you.
I think they're
Your
very lucky.
teachings did do a lot for me. So please
Yeah.
receive that
Thank
love,
you.
receive that praise,
I
because it
receive
did.
it. I
Yeah.
receive it, and I feel the love coming from your heart, and you get it
Thank you.
back.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you for joining, and we'll keep in touch for sure.
Yeah, look, if anybody is interested in learning more about self-love, I do have at the end of October, the 24th of October, is my next group intake. Of course, I'll work one-on-one, but yeah, if anyone wants to be part of the Self-Love Affair 4.0, starts on the 24th of October.
Beautiful.
It's of an evening in Australia time, which would be morning in Europe, UK time. So
Okay,
yeah.
and they can find. I mean, we'll put underneath this podcast information how to get in touch with you.
Yeah,
If you
just my
want, so
carolrobinson.com.au. Yeah,
easy peasy.
easy peasy. Wham bam. What do you say, yeah, all the time? Bam bam, bing bang boom, or something.
Yeah, bim bam boom.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
my dear. Thank you.
Uh,
Much love to you. Okay.
love
Have a
you too,
beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful day or beautiful evening.
Yeah, the sun's gone down now. It's
Okay.
7:30 p.m. here. So
Sun go down and sun go up.
I
How
know,
fun.
amazing, isn't it? It
It
just
is
keeps going
amazing.
around and around.
We live in magic, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity, and big love to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, my dear. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.